This is the Good Witch. So, dream came true. I just realized, because I guess this is the last part of the dream, it already happened. Before I moved into this apartment, I had a dream that I would be living in this room, and that my bed would be on that wall. This bedpost would be on that wall, in front of facing those two windows. So when my kids were moving me into this apartment, I begged them. They tried to put my bedpost on this wall, and the first wall that they tried to, that was the first instinct that came in this doorway, to put the bed against that wall. And I said to them, no, you can't put the bed there, because I had a dream that when the bed is there, I came in the house through that doorway from the back door, and as I approached the doorway there in the dream, I could see two people standing behind the tall post. The tall post. But that post was the post at the bottom, because it really has 4 posts, but I actually threw them out. I threw out the other 2 posts in May this year, 2022. But either way, this is in 2018 when I moved over here into this room, this apartment. So I said to my kids, I have to keep the bed. I put the bed on this wall where the windows are facing sideways from the bed. And the bed is sideways and the windows are there. So I was living with someone after later in that year, 2018. Somehow the headboard got on that wall after 2 years or 3 years in this room. So the dream actually came true, but not in the way that I thought. Because here's the thing about dreams, is that even though they come true, they're not exact. They're not exact. They're like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle, you know. Basically, it's like a puzzle. So in the dream, I snuck out. I looked peeked in through that doorway into this room, and when I saw the 2 people hiding behind the bottom of the bed, behind the tall bedpost, I snuck past them and went out the door, right back out the door. Okay, I snuck out, so they never knew I was in here. So that part came true in a sense that there weren't 2 people in this room, but it felt like it. It felt that way in real life, and in the winter of this is 2022. It was the winter of 2021. Months just passed, and as long as my headboard was on that wall, the bottom was down by the windows, facing the windows, I did live a very horrible nightmare, morning, noon, and night. Not having nightmares, but living a nightmare. It was the worst of the worst of the worst. Every day, morning, noon, and night, even though I still prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. You know, I'm not perfect. Yeah, there was some yelling, screaming, some tantrums, some hope receding. But always I still went back to praying. Always. Day in, day out. It was the worst nightmare. I'm not going to go into it, but it came true, but not in the sense that someone came in and hurt me or whatever. There were 2 people involved, more than 2 actually. That's why I couldn't see the faces behind the post, the bedpost. You can see how large they are. And I did get hurt, but not physically. It was emotional. It was spiritual, emotional. It was horrible. I couldn't, it was like a nightmare. I couldn't, like I was in the deepest hole and I couldn't dig my way out. So I asked God to pull me out, because the more I tried to fix it on my own, the worse the nightmare became. 100%, like more than 100%. The more I tried to fix it, the more it looked wrong, the more it was seen the wrong way, the more it was heard the wrong way. So I gave in and I let God take it over. After I almost died. In the dream, I had the feeling that I would die, which was the reason why I snuck out the house. Now, I almost died, so that did come true. I came very close to dying, actually through the wrong foods and the wrong space and time and 108-degree weather. Of course, with this full pelvis twist and that hole in my side, definitely, the damage that was done with the full pelvis twist makes it easier and harder easier for me to die if the air is not correct, if the air is standing still. It was already having that problem before the full pelvis twist. Now it's worse, and the blood, lupus. So basically that part did come true because I almost died, but I escaped. In the dream I escaped, and in real life I did escape it. It was hard. It wasn't as easy like in the dream I just slipped out the door. No, it was months. Well, when I escaped the death part, that took hours. It didn't take like 1, 2, 3, 10 steps out the door, sneaking out the door through that hallway. So dreams are, my dreams that come true, they're accurate, but not exact. It's a puzzle every time. A woman on the plane asked me, she said, well, when you have premonitions, doesn't that mean you can just save yourself all the time and just have everything you want? No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means. God is, the creator is in charge of everything, and no, that's not what that means. But it's like a warning, and it just means that if I follow those warnings, I won't have the problems that come with it. So, and I was warned not to put my headboard on that wall. And the moment I did, all of everything went bad. The first day, from the first day. Was I thinking about it then? No. Was it a superstition manifested because I was believing it? No. Because I had forgot about that until right now. Because I became comfortable in this room after years in this room. So at that point, I had forgot about it until today. Maybe an hour ago, it just hit me. I wasn't thinking about it. It just hit me. Because now my bed is back where it was when I first moved in this room, where I put it, where I knew that this is a safe spot. Yes, there's all kinds of different dimensions on this planet. God made it. I believe it. Anyhow, the other part of the dream that came true was that I did sneak. I snuck out of this apartment to go out of this apartment because I was bored and stir crazy within these walls, and I needed to complete a destiny task, and I did do that. It was necessary for me to free my spirit from the hell that I was in this apartment, in this room. Before I snuck out of this apartment, meaning I had to sneak because if you leave your apartment for more than 2 weeks, legally, it's called abandonment. Even if your rent is paid, illegally, you can come back and have nothing in your apartment and be homeless. A lot of people don't know that. But since I do know that, yes, I snuck out. The whole time I was gone, I was telling my son not to tell anyone important that I wasn't here. Okay, business people. Because I didn't want to lose my apartment. And that would have surely killed me because I don't want to live with my kids and I don't want to live in a shelter. I wouldn't do it. I'm not that girl. And yes, I've been faced with it when they did the last flipping scam on me. And I walked the street every day and to get a job, to get hotel money from my little job. I walked. After work, I walked looking for apartments. I refused. I walked past this women's shelter, but I did not go in. I'm just not that person. So this time I'm younger. I'm older. I was 38 when that happened. And at this point, yes, I was fearful while I was gone because if you, like I said, 2 weeks away, legally, I could have been put out and that would have surely killed me also. Because I'm not going to think that I would want to be walking the street every day. I'm not 38 anymore. That's been long past. So basically, that part came true. I was sneaking to be out of here, sneaking, pretending like, you know. So that came true, and it came true that when the bedpost was on the wall, that I would, it would make me feel like I was dead or hurt so bad that I would wish I was dead, and that did happen. That really did happen. I just thought it would be physical, but it wasn't physical. It was emotional and spiritual. It was horrible. It was really horrible. So when I came back, and like in the dream, I came back when I felt that it was safe to come back after I took care of something. It didn't show what I took care of in the dream. It didn't show what I had to take care of when I snuck out. It didn't show that part. See? But I did come back. It did show that I came back home and I was happy. So anyhow, that did come true. Before I left, snuck out of here, I moved my bedpost from that wall back to where I put it when I first moved in here. And I knew to put it here. And then I left. You know, organized a couple of things and then I left, snuck out. Okay. On my journey, in my spiritual journey. So when I got back, I was so happy to be back. I almost died while I was gone because the weather was, on my computer kept showing the weather, and it was showing that it was 108, 99 degrees, but feels like 108 degrees. Is what it kept showing on my computer with the yellow triangle danger sign the whole time I was in North Carolina. Every day on my computer it showed that. And I almost did not survive it. Some would say, oh, she's exaggerating, whatever. It doesn't really does. This is not about who believes it. Don't want to say anything mean and say I don't care, but it's really not about that. Everybody can just whatever. I don't want to think about that. This is the Good Witch, and the dream did come true. It was about me. Mostly I have dreams about others and how to save others, but this time it was about how to save me. That dream came 5 years ahead of what happened. I had 5 years to not do what it showed me that I did. And I still, even though I tried to avoid what was going to come if I put my headboard against that wall. You know, like they say, when one person drops a button and another person does another thing, and everything you do changes something that's going to happen tomorrow or whatever. And, you know, all of these things are true. And yeah, something as simple as putting a headboard on that wall facing the window changed everything in my life. Everything was turned upside down. It was like filling a cup with milk and then turning it upside down. It's exactly what it was like. Um, but instead of taking one day like it did in the dream, it was many months of horror, complete horror like I've never experienced in my life. Emotional horror. And I'm just really, it felt like death. I mean, it felt like something that's so horrible you would want to die to escape it. Yeah, that horrible hell. Like, it was hell. If you went to hell, you would wish for God to take you out of hell or take you out. And that's what I mean. And now, when I asked God to lift me out of a hole and save my life while I was at that North Carolina bus station for 12 hours suffering and suffocating, outside the bus station, sorry, not inside. Let's get that right. As I was losing my life force and my spirit was leaving me and my body was suffering to stay, I begged God all that day, if you just save me, God, just save me from this suffering, this suffocating. You know, suffocating is the worst way to go. I mean, I tell you, I drowned before when I was 8. I think that's the saying of suffocating. I'd rather die in my sleep natural, or, I mean, if somebody killed me, or if I had to be killed, I tell you, I'd rather something be quick, because that suffocation is like the worst of the worst of the worst of dying. Suffocating is like, come on, you're suffering on the way out. Suffering and suffocate. But they put those words that go together. It's the worst. Wasn't no asthma pump gonna save me. I've been to medical class. It was not gonna, I won't get into it because I don't want to deter anyone. Nobody would listen anyway. While I'm really kind of speechless, but the dream came true. It was a great big puzzle. And as long as I'm in this apartment, I would never put any kind of bed, couch, chair, or anything in that direction. Not ever. And but right now it's over. I'm not bitter, and I'm not sad, and I'm not mad. And when I came home, I was just so grateful to God. I slept on the plane all the way. As soon as I got on the plane, I lost track of everything and sat down. That's it. That's all I remember. Getting there, sitting down, and putting the little table down on the back seat so I could put my computer on it, because I threw my clothes away at the airport, so I wouldn't have to worry about the bag search and all that mess and go through that. I already had been through enough, and I just left my clothes in the bathroom, everything. So wiped it off my computer, and got in line. When I got on the plane, I put the little table down off the back seat, the seat in front of me. And I'm sorry, not back seat, the seat in front of me, the back of the seat in front of me. And I put my computer on it, and I realized I didn't have a computer cord or phone to do any kind of works. And there was no need for me to look out the window for anything, because then I was just so exhausted and I couldn't even see. And I was just so traumatized, and just, and on top of it, I was suffering, grieving for my brother and my best friend that had died while I was out. And it was a mess. It was a nightmare, a living nightmare. And I put my arms on my computer and put my head on my arms, and I fell asleep. I didn't remember the plane taking off or anything. Just a nice lady woke me up when we got to the destination. When I got home to the destination, she wakes me up on the plane. She says, "We're here. We've landed. Are you okay? You look really dehydrated. Would you like some water? Let me get you some." I said, "Oh, they're all done. They're not passing out." She says, "No, they already put everything away. You missed everything." And she looked at my cracked lips and my dry skin, and she was an educated woman, so I didn't have to. I could barely speak, and my voice was almost gone, very raspy, and it was a good thing. She was very educated, and I didn't have to speak. It was like I was on a desert ground and just laying there dying and waiting on somebody come and rescue you. It really felt like kind of like that, except that I was on an airplane. And she takes one look at me and she says, "Oh, you're really dehydrated. I'm gonna get you something." And she gets up and I kind of open my eyes a little and I see her. She's asking the stewardess for water and something to hydrate me, and she's telling them how I really need it bad, and I didn't even tell her anything. I didn't have a chance to say anything. She was like an angel. She was like an earth angel. I forgot her name. I wish I was not in a good state of mind. I'm going to look at my email. She took a picture of me on the plane, and she sent it to my email. She was very wonderful. And she asked me a couple little questions, and she had something in her bag. I can't remember it all, but it's kind of vague because I was just really out of it. But I do remember that she was very kind, and she was very educated. Most of all, she was educated, and that part is really important. It's really important because I couldn't speak, and I didn't need to speak. I didn't need to explain it. I didn't need to say the ABCs. She knew exactly what I needed, and I didn't have to tell her. She was already educated to spot and see. She saw my dry skin and my lips and she knew. She saw the black circles under my eyes that told her I was almost dead. She was very, very caring. And God, I hope you give her everything she needs, God. She was wonderful, and I know she's a wonderful school teacher. I remember she told me she's a school teacher. I'm not gonna cry right now. It's just so breathtaking. It's just like she was so wonderful inside of all that darkness. And that helped me live too. Just having someone sitting next to me like that while I was recovering in the air on that flight. So peaceful. Like she was just so sweet. Like I had just gave up on humanity of feeling anything. And she was so sweet, not with any purpose or anything to gain from it being nice to me. She had nothing to gain or nobody to prove anything to or convince. She didn't know anybody I know. It was all real, 100%. She didn't have any insults that you call love. She didn't have any of those, because you can even get those from strangers that will insult you and then laugh and say, "Oh, just joking." Because people are so used to abuse, now people are so used to confrontation and they call it love. That's not love. No, it's not. They've been all brainwashed to believe. It's so sad. She didn't have any of those qualities. She was just so nice to me with no purpose and nothing to gain. No judgment, nothing. She didn't say, "Well, why did you get yourself in that situation? Why did you?" None of those words came out of her mouth. She's the real deal. And there's not many people like that on this planet. I'm so sorry to say that. Okay, I'm gonna stop crying now. And I hope you're listening to this, because I remember you did subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna look at my email before I finish this short film. And I am gonna put your name on this short film, Miss Teacher Angel. There's very few people. Most people are just doing nice things to impress someone that they know. And they always have an evil plot. Like, for instance, someone that knows me knows someone else that will be nice to me in front of them to convince them that they mean me well, so that they can torture me mentally and emotionally with a smile or someone else. That's not love. And then say, I love you. That's not love. I love you. I'm only telling you this because you feel superior and you think you're better. And you will like putting people down for the fun of it. Yes, you do. And it makes you feel so proud and good when you hurt people's feelings. And maybe some people know me from when I first had the accident. Maybe I did some things that I wasn't supposed to do. Because, I did fall over 30 feet down. And now that I have the CAT scans to prove that I'm not just talking about it, you can pray to God for your forgiveness, because I don't need you or whoever and how many people took advantage of me because maybe I did or said something wrong. Because, I was very, very, very honest to say to people I knew and people I just met after the accident that, they said I had brain damage, but I feel just fine. I think I'm just fine. They said I had brain damage. So whoever I told that to, which was everybody that I did know, people I don't know, but yet and still, if I made a mistake or did something wrong, did I continue to do it? That's what you gotta look at. Did I mess with anybody's husband? Did I talk to somebody's husband? Did I get a ride from an AA meeting with somebody's husband who maybe tried to make his girlfriend jealous or his wife? And maybe he used me. Oh yeah, I took her home and screwed her. And definitely I didn't screw anybody. But it's, now that years have passed and I'm seeing things, little puzzle pieces, that I think that some people want to torture me because of things they thought I did. Like there was a guy, maybe more than one guy, maybe 3 or 4 guys, 2 or 4, whatever. I went to meetings for about 3 or 4 years, whatever, before the accident. Then I had to stop because I couldn't just keep walking when I was torn apart on the inside, but on the outside I looked fine. So then I started getting rides home, and they're like, oh, you can't have your people that you used to get high or drink with or whatever, which I never got, whatever, was hanging out with. So then they said, oh, you're supposed to trust everybody to meet in and get to know everybody, whatever. They have their little rules, which I think are wrong now. Because, see, when you get a ride home with somebody from the meeting and you don't know if they're married but you didn't screw them, but maybe somebody in town saw them give you a ride and they just assumed that you were messing around. And then they get their uncle or their nephew or their brother to come and date you months later. And then you find out that, and you overhear a conversation and find out that they were torturing you all along. They got you to like them so they could torture you because they thought you did something that you didn't even do. That's so sad. But see, God is going to get all of them that thought the wrong thing about me and tortured me. Even though I said I was so high in the sky, the cars looked like toys. So when I fell to the ground, which like the CAT scan proves, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm so glad those CAT scans came in so I could show those pictures to everybody that thought that I was pretending. Most of all, so they could gain faith, real faith. Not that fake faith of, oh yeah, Jesus died on the cross, but that was a long time ago. And those things don't happen, or whatever, I don't know. Miracles don't happen no more. Or like that fake faith, but when I said, I don't catch any diseases, and I overheard people say that I was crazy because I think I can't catch a disease. But my blood work shows different. It's very sad when people are uneducated. And it's really sad when people are judgmental. And they just assume things. When you live in a town and you look out the window and say, oh, that girl took a ride home with so-and-so from the AA meeting. I think she's screwing me cheating. But nobody asked me. They just assumed and then proceeded to make a plan of torture. And it took me all these years for my brain to catch up. Because I said it, I had brain damage. I just had an accident. I'm limping, barely walking, tripping on my feet, falling down in the beginning. And you still tried to hurt me. And took advantage and used me. And then all the conversations I've had, you all know who you are, where you thought that I was playing a game. Wait a minute, playing games? Didn't hear when I said I have brain damage and problems with word processing, and it's written right here. You want to see it? No, I don't want to look at it. No, you don't want to look at it. You just want to or like my kids, I love my kids. They say, I know. How do you know when you won't even look at this paper? What it says, the 7 doctors and 5 nurses wrote on this paper. You don't want to read it. You just want to assume that I'm just some erratical, crazy nutcase. Like my sister who lives all the way 3,000 miles away, who calls me hurt and crying, saying how some people who live way over there, who are relatives, thought that I was, your sister's acting erratical and your sister's acting like a nutcase. And she said, how will I defend you? I felt so sorry for her. Why do you need to defend me? Because people don't believe in miracles? Yeah, I'm here, but maybe I came back they knew something was wrong with me because then they took advantage. See, how you could take advantage but still say she's playing games. She know what's going on, but she's playing games and she's pissing me off and she's saying the wrong words. She's not answering me right away when I'm speaking to her. She's just being quiet. Brain damage, hello. And also think before you speak. When did that become not an option? I would like to know. And doesn't it mean you care more when you think before you speak? I think that, people who have gift for gab, the con artists, I can't even say it right, con artists, people like that, they don't have to think before they speak. They just speak, they just run their mouth, they just come down like water. In my experience, because I've been tricked a whole lot of times. Before I had brain damage, I was tricked a whole lot of times because I don't live in the street, I don't play in the street, and I don't hang in the street, and I don't party in the street, and to me it's the street. And the only time I'm in the street is to as far as a party place, is to get paid for singing. So, and I leave. I don't go join the crowd. So when did I learn all those languages of how to manipulate and all that, pushing buttons? People be saying to me, people have said to me, you're pushing my button, what is it? For fun? For no? And if I said no, that's what it was. It was no. It was really no. And it's just so sad that those who lost my friendship, because I don't walk away, but see, God takes me away from people because I don't have the power to do it. I'll let somebody trick me and use me over and over and over and be like, and still be sad for them and be like, nah, I'm not talking about lovers. I'm talking about lovers, friends, and strangers, and family. I'm talking about all of them. and I don't get it, and I used to want to get it, and I tried to fit in, but all that did was get me more deeper into hell. Literally. Because trying to fix it on your own is when you abandon God. So basically, because I don't need to look for humans to approve of me anymore. That is over. I don't need nobody to approve of me but God, because the more time spent trying to get somebody to approve is time that is distracting me from doing what I'm supposed to do for the Creator, whatever that might be. Even making this little short film, somebody's going to get something out of it that they can use in their life to benefit them. Lots of people, lots and lots of thousands and billions of people will get something out of every short film I make that will benefit their life. And that's what God uses me for. I'm grateful for it. I'm glad. God didn't save me with a CAT scan shows my head's cut off and all that and torn apart and all that. God didn't save me for me to go chasing humans to approve of me. That's not what God saved me for. All the time that I was feeling like I was in hell, I was crying, saying, why did you save me? You saved me for people to hate me. No, that's not what he saved me for. When I almost lost my life, so many times, but this time it was just too much suffering with it. It was just too much suffering that went. Woo, that was too much. Because any other time that I almost lost my life or stopped breathing, there was no suffering. See, I was just out, bang, over. But at that bus station, oh, good God, that was like worse than drowning when I was 8 years old. That was quicker, at least. That was quicker. My God. And that just opened my eyes to a whole new reality that I should have felt when God rescued me in the sky as I was being torn apart. Instead of coming down thinking, oh, there's so many things I want to do before I die. No. Right now I'm thinking inside the light. And whatever I did to whoever I did it to, and whatever you think I did that I didn't do, and whatever I said that I shouldn't have said that I didn't mean to say, while my brain damage was at its worst after the accident, I really apologize. I'm not sorry. My friend that died said, don't say you're sorry. See, I apologize from my whole heart. I apologize. But do know this. God was watching you and me, and you and you and you. And God heard your judgments, you and you and you, and me. And we all gotta carry the burden like those before us. And we all gotta answer to the Creator. Point blank, period. When it's all said and done, we all gotta answer to the Creator. And another thing, if anybody seen me yelling outside, obviously I couldn't breathe. That's when I started acting up. If you're kicking and screaming and drowning, when you're drowning, are you just gonna be still and be quiet? No, you're gonna be kicking, screaming, hollering, everything. Hello? If somebody put their hand on your nose and your mouth, you're going to start kicking and screaming. Hello? If somebody tie a rope around your neck and your waistline, you're going to start screaming. Hello? If somebody puts a plastic bag over your head, you're going to start screaming, right? Right. So, see, don't forget that God was listening when whoever thought I was just trying to get attention when I was screaming and hollering because I couldn't breathe. Fighting for my life, screaming for help. Oh, I can't breathe. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm not the judge, and I forgive everybody because, hey, I don't have any anger anymore because I'm not thinking on the level that I was thinking anymore. All that suffocating. definitely I'm in the light now. I'm gonna stay right in the light, and I don't care to try to please any human anymore, in any form or fashion. Help, yes, I'll help somebody. That's what I was born for. But I'm not gonna be used because God is watching me now. And just in case I might be saying something, like my mind is thinking I'm saying something, but my mouth is coming out like they said I'm having process with the brain, with the word thing going on, whatever. I'm sorry. I apologize. But just don't forget, God is watching all of us. All of us. And what you reap with your soul, if you wish bad on somebody because what you think they did, you know you got to get bad karma, right? Or bad, just whatever. I don't want to get into that anymore. I already said what I said, and I apologize. But I do feel sorry for those who hurt those because of what they think. And I might say it was wrong to say, accuse somebody of something, but I didn't act on it and try to pay them back and try to torture them for it and try to punish them for it. No. I will try to get to the truth, and when I do, then I just step back or step even closer to you. If I ain't step closer to you, then hey, and I step back, and I don't wish you bad, and I don't wish you, and I didn't step back. Basically, God removes me. It's out of my hands, because me, I just always, the only time I step back is if and even then I try, whatever. But those days are over. Right now, the only thing I'm trying for is to do whatever the creator needs me to do. And this short film is part of it. If this film is not about me, if that's all that you're hearing, then you're on a very small level of existence. A very, 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 very small level of spiritual existence. If you think, oh, she's talking about herself again, it's not about me. It's about me, but it's really about, there's a lesson inside of every story. There's many lessons, lots and lots of lessons. For someone else not to repeat them, or someone else to just know that, hey, it might be me that is the subject, but maybe you know someone else that you judged and you thought that they did such and such or whatever, and you tortured them. Or maybe you know someone else that had an accident and they came back like they look like they're okay, but they're not. And you shouldn't take advantage of them, and you shouldn't use every word they say to torture them. Maybe you don't like the words. It's one thing not to like words people say. That's another thing to plan torture on people. That is just beyond. You might as well just throw bricks on your feet and just dig the hole, go down to the feet. I'm sorry, God, I won't judge. God knows. And so I'm running out of words and repeating myself, so that means that this short film is over. And I hope that everyone gets what they're really supposed to get out of this film. Because if not, okay, you know the rest. And peace be with you. God loves everybody. He gives everybody a chance. They laughed when that ark was being built they had 120 years to believe. And all they did was laugh at him every day, call him a drunk. Yeah, he drank his wine. That's all they did was laugh at him and call him a drunk and a fool and a nutcase for 120 years. Remember that God always uses people that are not perfect. I hope everybody remembers that. Peace, love, and light. This is the songbird nature. And right now we're having a sun shower here in New England. The sun was just showing, but now it's behind those clouds. It's raining really hard. Wow, look at the puddle. Let's see if I can. I'll get wet. It is raining. Oh, the kids love the rain here. They're always going to come out and play in the rain, but it's cold. A little bit nippy, not cold, but a little, look at her, see? It's a little nippy though, but we live here, so we're used to it. Like people down south are used to the heat. Ooh, that must be due to that hurricane that's going on, even though it's far away from here. I know that hurricanes cause a lot of rain in other places. Affects the whole planet, tornadoes and all. Earthquakes the other day. It's wet all the way up on the porch. So I figure I'll open the door and let some of that nice air in here. Oh yeah, my lungs are really loving this. Oh yeah. My lungs are loving this. Oh wow, look how hard it's coming down. Look at that puddle. Look at that rain. They're so excited. It was hot earlier. It was very hot. It was sweating hot. Like, went to the store next door and started sweating. That's beautiful. Oh. Oh, my lungs is loving this. Oh yeah, I got my cake in the oven. It's in a glass bread pan, so therefore it won't be too big for me. And I got my stewed chicken, and I'm making macaroni salad. Oh yeah, just enough for me in a little pot. That way I don't have to throw anything away, and because I will not can't eat the leftovers. Look at how beautiful it is. Oh, look, it looks like two eyes over there. I don't know why it's not showing up on the camera. That's kind of strange. It's weird. I'm pointing right at it. I don't see it on the camera. Look like two big, giant fire eyes. Where the sun is beneath the clouds. So beautiful. It smells real good. Nice and fresh. I don't smell anything that stinks at all. And it's a good thing they took the trash today. Oh, so perfect. Nature is so perfect. So many people have a fit when it rains. I don't know why. I mean, I hear the reasons why, but I love it. Look at that. It's making a whole stream. It made a whole stream really quick. If it wasn't for that drain right there, I'm sure this parking lot would be very full. It's nothing to worry about. We need some fresh air. We need it. Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. It just smells. I can smell the food I'm cooking, the food someone else is cooking. Ah, and the fresh, fresh air. Oh my. I'm gonna breathe as much of this as I can. Oh, mm, oh yeah. Mm. Oh, I just finished my nice fat steak sandwich. It was really good with just onions and steak and pepper. Oh God, it was delicious. I looked down, I put it down, I took a couple of bites, I thought, and then I didn't want to eat in the bedroom, so I sat it down on top of the stove and then come back. You know, I sat down, watched the show. It couldn't even wait 5 minutes. Went back in the kitchen to take a bite of my sandwich, and it looked like it was like evenly too. A bit across evenly. It's like only like a fourth of it left down at the bottom, like evenly across. I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize I ate it like that. Oh, it's over. It's over now. Look at the puddle. Aww. It comes quick and it leaves fast over here in New England. It seems like we never have rain that lasts for a really long time, but that's okay. Oh, that fresh air is so wonderful. I'm gonna let all that in my house. Look, gotta go. Peace, love, and light. Gotta check the cake.